What's going on, YouTube? It's been a minute. It's your boy Marvelous, and I'm here to give my opinion today. I'm gonna try to touch on a particular subject. Actually, you know what? Let me just figure I could just sum it down to one huge topic. That will sum up everything I wanted this much to talk about anyway. Sorry, this is gonna be mostly a rant, but it's just things I've noticed and observed. And honestly, I don't believe anything is gonna change. And I think things are gonna go the way that those who are running the country or those who are in seats of power and how their plans are to do certain things are going to go as they want. And then how people are willfully are going to submit to the rules of these people who are going to do things to them in an unjustified and unfair manner, but they're going to be complicit and take it anyway because they don't know any better. But yeah, let's get into it. So, what brought about this discussion was a video on TikTok I just watched of God, Officer Tatum going on a rant about what's happening at these school board meetings and how children are being sexually exploited and yada 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 yada. Okay, cool. Before we even touch that, we have to understand why this was even a thing in the first place. Your argument or your complaint is with the school board. You guys have elected and trusted certain officials to pick certain curriculums for your children to learn in schools. Um, these people, again, who are at power, do not, and I'm just, from my opinion, do not care about what it is you believe or what it is you want for your child. They know what's best for your child. Why? Because you've already submitted your children to them, trusting them. So that's where you messed up as a parent. Now, truthfully, I believe most families, and especially in our society, are pretty much broken up, and this is why your children are completely exposed to such things that you're complaining about now, such as pornography and sexual explicit materials that are being passed down in classes and stuff in that matter. These things will continue to be allowed because your families are weak. You're weak. You can't even take care of your own child. The government's doing that for you. Congratulations, mom and dad. You guys are too busy trying to make ends meet to stay home and watch his children and see what kind of things are being allowed in the house. And it's not even just like, like back when I came up, it was just TV. You had to just monitor what they're watching TV or listen to on the radio. Now you got cell phones, and parents are literally handing over the world into their child's hands. Why? Because of safety reasons. Now, I'll get into this real briefly because this is going to tie in another reason how people are easily manipulated into fall into the trap. Safety is nothing more than a feeling, people. Safety is nothing more than a feeling, and a feeling is a lower state of mind. If I can get you in your feelings, I can manipulate you. It's just that simple. It's not that hard. There's three state of minds you're going to be in at all times when you make decisions. One is going to be you're either going to be you're going to be wise in your decision making. You can go by what you know, or lastly, you're going to basically assume some things and go by your feelings. And that's the thing about safety. It puts you into the state of complacency and assumption, making you feel good about the unknowns of the world. I don't want to die or I don't want nothing bad to happen, as if you had some type of control over other people making decisions on your life, like the world owes you understanding. But I digress. Going back to what I was saying, you're only tricked so easily because you're able to be manipulated based upon your feelings. And they shove these things, like we all know, like I don't say all of us know, but it's already been publicly announced that certain tactics on how to control people through coercion, incentives, manipulations, all these things that get you in your feelings. And I've been pretty much trying to explain this for quite some time about those who are too emotional and how it's easy to control those in their emotions. It's easy to blindside you. It's easy to earn your trust. You know why? Because a lie wants nothing more to do to make you feel good. A lie, as I said before on my post, I said something along the lines of a lie will continue to make you feel good as long as you believe in it. As long as you believe in it, it will always make you feel good. And that's all a lie is. So, for those who are, that was just a quick, sorry, I digress again, but going back to the household, things are broken up, and it's interesting to see how things have been infiltrated. As I said, state of mind is how they control the populace. So, what controlled man in the beginning? Because every man used to forge for his own path in life, do do what he defined himself as. And one day, I don't know, maybe some king or someone who was real powerful, had a lot of resources, big family. I don't know. He had those that were weaker. We call beta males, whatever. These men who were weaker than the strong, they had to submit themselves to another man's rule if they wanted to survive, if they wanted to eat, whatever they wanted to do, they submit themselves, or even to protect their family. Men will sacrifice their freedom in order to protect those they love. Trust me. So you have men who were just an unknown. Not that they weren't strong. You could be physically strong, but just unaware and not knowing, and that's all your enemy needs to have an advantage over you. It's just being an unknown. So men believed that they can keep their family safe by submitting themselves to another man. So that's how civilization has started, in my opinion. So now we speed up. Men have been subdued by other men who have knowledge. Then you have the women. Women have been told that they are great, they are powerful, they are this, they are that, they're independent. They should be, their own thing. They don't need a man. Whatever it is, they said, right? To convince women that what they were doing was insufficient, that being a mother that is like the bare minimum you can do as a woman. Sure, any woman can have children. Not true, but I digress again. Being a mother became belittled in some ways. Like, it was almost shamed if a woman was to stay at home and take care of her kids and watch the society. It's like, you should be contributing in some other manner. You should be trying to not be underneath a man. You should be strong enough to take care of yourself. You see, shame, guilt, and all that stuff like that, trying to make women feel like they're doing something bad. And a lot of women, in my opinion, I don't want to say foolish. That'd be kind of harsh. Some were foolish. Others were just ignorant and did not know and just saw that the easier way that things had to be or needed to be, or they were raised to be in an environment where women worked all the time. Women were working, protecting children. That's what women were doing. But now women are not at home protecting the children because they're doing the same thing that men have done, and that's submit themselves to a higher power. Someone who is going to promise them a better life and opportunities and things, the world, whatever it is. Basically, look out for yourself. But that's the difference between men and women, I believe. At least in modern society, women have this, because again, women are more subjected to imagery, and they're easily to be manipulated because they're more emotional in a sense. Men are emotional too. Don't get it twisted, but it's more easier to manipulate a woman than it is a man. Why? Because women like to emote and express themselves, and by doing that, they leave themselves vulnerable to someone who's willing to exploit them based upon the things they expressed. Men are still leery-eyed, more so on expressing their feelings and stuff. They're trying to get men to open up and be more expressive, just to control them, like women. But there are still, I would say, on average, more men are more likely not to express because they know that's a way of weakness. And when I say weakness, I mean, remember that mindset thing I was talking about before, and I was saying, okay, you want to be making wise decisions. You want to go by what you know, not by what you feel. That's what I mean. If you start making decisions based on how you feel, you're going to make a lot of poor choices. Weakness, in my opinion. So, going back to what I was saying, women have been tricked into these things, so now no one is at home watching the children. And women also don't have that same sense that men still do when it comes to duty, because, let me see, men were taught to be, this is I'm talking about the men from way back, way back. Men were taught to be more catering to one woman. You know, men were tricked, in my opinion, to basically submit yourself to one woman, one family, and provide for one. Why? Because there's power in his loins, like any other man. The greatest example of this would be probably Genghis Khan. God, man, his empire was ridiculous, and that was all from his groin. You know what I'm saying? My man planted an army through his balls. That's crazy, but that's what power really is. It's in the family, and because of who he was and what he's accomplished based upon his actions, men cannot move that way no more because again, men has been tricked. He's been put into shame by saying if you have this many wives or da da da, you're a player, da da. And a man knows he's only doing like men who move intentions. Okay, let me put that in full perspective because back then, before men became players or children, in my opinion, because only children play with shit like that, play with sex. That's ridiculous. So before a man became a player, he moved with intention. He looked for a woman to bear his children. Why? Because he knew that having a son or whatever else to take on his whatever he was doing, whether he was a king or whether he was a blacksmith or whatever he did as a skill, he wanted someone to pass those skills on to get sharper, get better, to be able to have the resources that he gathered to make life easier. Whatever it was that men did, they wanted to ensure that was passed down generation to generation to generation. Men still do that, but they don't do it at a rate that would make them powerful anymore. And what's funny is the world's still run by powerful families, but there's more than just a few families that run this whole world. As you know, like I said, there's what they said about 8.6 or 8.3, something like that. I can't remember. Something billion people on the planet. Now, how many families out of the billion do you think there are? I'm not doing the math. Just saying. That's a lot of families. And only for the, probably 10 is my assumption. I don't know how many real families run the world, but it probably ain't that many that run the world that got real powerful names. That was things that were supposed to be established. And again, like I said, they tricked men, they tricked women, and now they got the kids. I'm just trying to sum it up as fast as I can. I know I've been here for more than 10 minutes, but basically, man was subdued, basically, with his nuts. Women were tricked into thinking that, first off, if you be like a man, act like a man, you could be independent and self sufficient. Not realizing that the one gift that she got, the one thing that she could do that man cannot do, she abuses that just as well as the man does with his seed and abandons it. Women's rights for abortion speaks for that fully. When they have, this one to seek pleasures and have fun and look in the world and blah, 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 while disregarding life that may come along as well by simply snuffing it out in the womb. That has become a normal thing, and that's like they used to argue that it should be used for extreme cases, but in reality, we already know the statistics of numbers. It was like what, out of 100 abortions, maybe two or three are actual rape cases. So you're looking at 3% maximum of people who were raped. It's not to say that 3% is an insignificant number, but realistically, you look at the totality of humans on planet, there's more than 3% getting raped. But I believe, in my opinion, I believe most women who do get raped keep the child. At least, outside of Western society. That's just me, in my opinion. I don't, because again, I think women from other countries understand what life is in itself and they don't take it so abundantly. In America, because we are all about abundance, we feel entitled and inclined to build decisions. And because, again, there's no shame behind it, there's no repercussions behind the actions, people just do what they want to do blindly, not knowing how it's going to affect themselves and the next generation and so forth and so on. These type of behaviors aren't healthy, they're not good, and we will continue to do these things and ignore the children in the process. So now people are trying to bring attention to what's happened to the children, like I said, with Officer Tatum and stuff, with the whole school board having pornography and stuff and them trying to shut it all down. Look, this is only the tip of the spear. You guys have no clue what's around the corner. I really don't know what's around the corner. Only thing I know this one thing for sure, I'm pretty sure it's gonna happen. A lot of death. Death is looming. And most of you guys celebrate it anyway. Y'all actually, not with just abortion, no. That's just one one expression of death. There's many forms of expression in death. I'm telling you right now, that little rainbow flag, that's all I see is death, bro. That's all I see. Anytime I see a rainbow flag, I see death before my eyes. Just that simple. That's what it represents to me. I don't care what no one else tells me. You could say it represents love. Lust, affection, and all that other stuff. Can love be expressed through those things? Yes, but let's be real here. You don't need love to have lust or affection or all these other feelings. You don't. I used to tell people this. This is why I used to get like when dudes are players, you can just tell a girl you love her. Basically, you feel some type of way about her, and if she actually believes you, because that's the thing that's crazy. It's like it's so bad that people can't even distinguish what love is anymore. People, I don't think people really know what it is. I could tell you all day, and some will be like, "Yeah, but it's still a feeling." And I would tell you, through your feelings, love can be expressed, but that feeling in itself is not love, and that's hard to explain. But then again, it's not really so hard to explain. It's just that again, some people are more willing to hold on to what feels good, and sometimes with love, it doesn't always feel so good. So you rather ignore the other half of what love really is just to feel good for the most sake of it. Sorry, I'm pulling away from the whole topic discussion. I keep doing that. I gotta stop doing that. One last time I digress. Big picture, families are shattered, families are broken, and there's no stopping what's going to happen next. Like I said, I believe a lot of death is going to occur, if not already happening. So many generations of people have already died through all the confusion in the media that they're teaching you guys. A lot of these things you guys wouldn't even do if they didn't pass the idea to you. The fact that so many people are convinced that like there are so many trans people in the world and blah 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 blah. Like, look, man, I'm gonna let you know something. It's no secret, okay? When you come into this world, you know nothing. You know absolutely nothing. You don't even know what it is you look like until you get a mirror. So for all this, I was born this way. Stop the cap. You saw something that inspired you, that gave you a feeling. That's basically it. I'm serious. Like that's all it is to you. It really is not hard to tell what happened to most people that come up with these ideas that are not their own. You wasn't born thinking like one way or another. You didn't even know what one thing or another was until it's introduced to you. You think you're such a genius in self discovery, knowing myself? Really? You have no idea who you really are. You're just feeling your way through life, aimlessly going what your feelings go by, which is the weakest mindset to be in. But again, it's not that hard. As long as you're going to just sit still and listen to what someone's telling you, it's not hard to get you, compliant. And this is all part of the program as well. This media thing, all this right here. If you only knew how sophisticated this thing really was and what it really is true intentions were to get you guys to comply. All of this is for control over you, the real you. And I can't say I've witnessed a few people, you know, it's just rare to see people who are actually aware of themselves. I would say in today's day and age, more so out of America or Western society, I see more people who are more aware of what's going on, even the youth, and that gives me hope. That gives me so much hope. You would never believe how much hope that gives me to see the youth or aware. God, it gives me such joy to know that there's youth out there and a lot of it that are very aware of what's going on, and they also know that a lot of this is inevitable. It is. These people are very powerful, and a lot of people don't have love for themselves. That's where the real, true issue lies. Men have lost love for themselves first, Then the women and the children, because there's no guidance from either the mother or the father, they don't even know that love exists. If anything, shoot, they're like hollows, animals in some ways. I don't want to really call them animals, but more like just dormant. They're just hollowed. And that's hard to really explain, but let's just say they are just completely oblivious to who they are, and because they're in an environment where things are just so unnatural to them, they think that these things are what they are, and it's all just an illusion. It's all there just to control them. A lot of things, but they don't know that they're under control. They don't know that they're themselves are actually asleep. They're like hollow shells, unable to well, they're going to be told what to do, and they're going to comply and listen. Anyways, that's all I had to say. Sorry for the long rant. There is no fixing this, so you're not. I'm not even here to tell you guys what we could do, what we should do. We should find a leader, or blah 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 blah. No, no. This is an inevitability. I'm just letting you know. I'm just look. I'm just a forecaster, telling you what the weather is. I don't control the weather. I just tell you what the weather's going to be. This is all this is right here that I'm presenting before you. Just know that in Western society, families are completely broken up, snatching power. That's how you snatch power. For those who already have established families, make sure that no one else is going to come up and uprise. Keep them confused, keep them guessing, keep them selfish, keep them in tune to themselves. Um, because it's such a strong population, accountability is very low. So it's going to only entice people to be more tempted to do things they normally want to do. So I mean, there's a lot that's going on in society, and things are just being normalized just to control you guys. It's all just to control you. But anyways, that's all I got for today. It's already been 22. Been here way too long. It's supposed to be a quick one, you guys. So that's nothing too. Y'all attention span is so short. It's so short. I have to I don't know, change my whole theme up, change my voice, change my antics, probably act goofy or some shit, just to keep you guys' attention, make some laughs and cheers and shit, and you would barely get 2% of what I was just saying. You would touch it, but you're just here to laugh. Again, another tactic they really programmed you guys. I couldn't even sit still probably for 25 minutes to watch this whole entire video. But anyways, I know that, and those who are aware also know that. But that's all I gotta say for today. I don't mean to insult you guys' intelligence or those who have just the inkling of patience. But for those who already had left a long time ago, yeah, enjoy what comes around the corner very soon. I already heard what they're doing. What is it? In December, they're going to bring back the whole mandatory mask shit. Watch for round two. And for those who wear, really pay attention to how many people are still going to comply, even after all the information was put out there. Like I said, ain't no one going to ask questions. They're going to do what they told because they're stuck in their feelings. They're fearful and don't ask questions at all. They want life to be on easy. And nothing easier than someone telling you what to do. And that's what they want. They want someone to tell them what to do. They want them to tell them what their life is. They want to tell them what their worth is. They want validation. They want all these things to feel good because they don't know who they are and they don't love themselves. They got no love for self. They're hollows. And there are a shit ton of them. I think the Bible would have called them the walking dead in a sense. Not like zombies, but like they're not really living. Or even better yet, in more modern terms, they're just NPCs. Just a lot of NPCs, non-playable characters. Well, anyways, said too much. I'm out. Peace and love. Take care.